everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Cobra Piranha. So the Cobra Piranha is another one of our 1990 series. Was released in 1990, unfortunately was discontinued in 1991. Note that the seat clip is a common part shared with several other vehicles and is interchangeable among many of them. So keep that in mind if you're collecting them and you're looking for the exact parts. That is a little note here from yojo.com. A depth charge firing Sea Marauder for Cobra. So, getting into the images here. Oh, so we have some different missiles. We do have torpedoes underneath, which I guess I really wasn't expecting the torpedoes underneath here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to upgrade the torpedo count or change the missile count one way or the other. Because when I was looking at the schematics, I didn't have that in here. And this has some sort of jet propulsion, so this gives us a little extra speed. So, things to keep in mind when I'm looking at this, I'm trying to just balance everything out, and it does give us a little interesting look at how everything goes. We got our different views here, which gives us a very nice look at this wonderful machine here. All right, so nice underview. We do have the two torpedoes here, and these are separate. I was thinking the side-mounted missiles were torpedoes. So with that being the case, I think I'm in our write up here. I think I'm going to have to add two extra missiles. Um, I don't know if I'm just going to keep them as just four missiles or if I should really change them to something different. We'll just kind of think about that along the way here, because we do have some smaller missiles in the back, and then we have some larger missiles. We'll see what we have when we look at all the missiles and torpedoes and that together. If we have a view of that here, um, top part of the hull, and then we have the bottom part of the hull. See, and they all have that same mounting piece here, which was very common for GI Joe. Okay, so this is the missiles. This is all four of them. So um, I guess I'm just upgrading or updating how many missiles we have. Okay, so these are our torpedoes. So when they put this, or when they were showing us the pictures, we had two missiles underneath. The torpedoes were on the side, and yeah, okay, yeah, they do show the torpedoes here. Why would we have missiles underneath? I wonder why we would have that. Um, I don't know. It's kind of different because that's kind of how they're showing it, as though the torpedo is on the side, and of course we have our depth charges. So long range torpedoes, yeah, and we have missiles in the back. Uh, an interesting placing for missiles. Not saying I think it couldn't be done, but it is an interesting placement for missiles in all. Um, so if the missiles are the same, I'm just going to just add two extra missiles to that. That's not a big deal. All right. So easily lost and or broken pieces. We have the antenna for the Cobra Piranha. Can often be missing. Any combination of the missiles are unfortunately lost, of course, because when we're sitting here as kids playing with these, it's a very common thing. Um, we've had images of this in trading cards, comic books, cartoons, commercials, and video games. So we do have the DIC version of this, and I don't know who that character is offhand. Uh, just being honest. And looking at how this is a longer vessel. I've got this being about 20 feet long. Uh, Taking a gander at it as to how long this should be. Um, that jet propulsion in the back, I think, is going to take a little extra room here. And of course, we have this in a arcade game, and then we have the commercial slot for this as well. Let's see. We do have the vehicle mold was repainted or retooled. We have the Piranha 1990 and the Dragon Mark One for Mortal Kombat. And then in Canada, we had a slightly different box cover. Let's see. What did we have? I don't see anything different offhand, but there's got to be something different here. I just don't know what it is. Okay, and last but not least, here, while we are on yojo.com, we do have an original price. So back in 1990, this would have cost $4.60. Not a huge cost for a vehicle like this for being able to get for us kids, but you know, for the '90s and that was quite a bit of money. I remember complaining when I was paying for gas, paying over $1 a gallon for gas. So keep that in mind when we're talking about some of this stuff. Um, you know, I know I'm getting old, but it is just some of those things. So, all right. Okay, so let's look at our write up here. So, the Cobra Piranha being at speed or scale, we do have a length of 20 feet, like I had stated before. Kept this as a crew of one because I do not see any other spots for any other crew members to really sit on here. I don't think we want anyone sitting on top of our jet engine or right in front of the guns or cannons here in the front. I don't think that would be a very worthwhile idea. Okay, this is going to be surface altitude. We also have a one half coverage. I don't have a cargo capacity on here. I don't know why I didn't do that. I'm going to put down 40 kilograms because that's kind of a norm for a lot of the vehicles that we have been doing. So I figure let's just stay with kind of our norm. We do have a speed of about 80 miles an hour. So that puts it at 69 knots. And the body strength is going to be at 4D. So keeping it a little bit armored here, not the best. I mean, it's actually pretty respectable. I'm not going to lie. Um, we do have the heavy auto blasters personnel scale. Fire control is 1D, and the damage is 7D. Now here's our missiles. Seeing that they're showing four of them, the missiles are actually the same. It's just that we have two all the way on the top on the spoiler, and we have two underneath there. I don't know how that's fully working, but that's what we have. So that's our four missiles. These are again at speed or scale. Fire control is going to be a 1D, and we have 5 damage on those. Um, Typically, I do about a 7 damage, but I'm leaving it at 5. Uh, I don't know exactly what to say. Now we have mini torpedoes. Being honest, I was kind of looking at the. Oh goodness! Now my mind has kind of gone on fritz thinking about trying to think about this. Um, our old GI Joe boat here. Uh, we had the missiles on there. We had the mini torpedo. I think we'll leave it at 7D for the torpedoes. It's one of those things of it's a fine balance because if we're hitting something bigger, do we want to up it to a Walker scale or do we want to leave it at a speeder scale? And if you feel you need to change it, by all means, go ahead and change it. I think right now, if we leave it at speeder, it's doing 7D damage. That is pretty respectable. If we do hit like a heavier boat that is at a, say, Walker scale, um, it would drop it down to a 5D damage, which is still pretty significant in so many ways. So yeah, I think if we leave it, we should be good. And then we do have two depth charges. So we have one on the port and starboard side, our left and right. We have a fire control. Actually, the fire control, I suppose, because I kind of copy and pasted here. Um, our fire controls probably should be. I'm going to do a 0D plus one um, because really you're aiming really with just trying to get the boat on top of things. There's going to be something there to try and finesse on trying to drop them. But if you really don't know what you're doing, I'm going to go off on a tangent here and say it's really going to be a hit and miss deal. Now, I know I have a lot of different people that are watching this, which really does surprise me for a small channel, and I feel very blessed for that. If anyone knows a better rating for that, always feel free to give me a comment. Otherwise, you know, seeing that you're going to have to moon over the boat to try and get it in the right spot, I think if we leave it a 0D plus one, I think that's kind of accurate. I think you can set these for different depths and that. So that's, having one person trying to do all this, I think that's going to get kind of hairy at times. So we do have 7D damage. And of course, ooh, I got to change our range here because I did a copy and paste from our torpedoes, trying to just do this. And I did this morning. I'm filming this at night after work. Um, how about if we have like 30 meters, 60 meters, and um, oops, say 100 meters. I don't really know how far out you're going to shoot these. I really don't know. And the fact that we have small ones, smaller depth charges to throw out there, I don't know if we're going to have a big launch system on a boat. I mean, it's a fairly good size at 20 feet, but we have a lot of stuff packed in here. I guess that's just the whole point I'm really looking at. You have a lot of things packed in here. You have one person trying to handle a lot of different aspects between shooting, firing missiles, throwing out depth charges. I think it can get very hairy and very uh, chaotic in the driver's seat. So, so that really encompasses what we have here today. Hopefully, this is a shorter video, so we don't go too long. But keeping it short and sweet for what we have. Again, and as always, if something that I'm presenting to you or whatever does not really seem to fit and you feel you need to change it, take what I've got, change it, um, make it into what you feel it really needs to be made into. My idea is, it always is if I can get a good start on this, um, something that feels like it should work. But there again, once you get into play and you actually try this stuff, sometimes things that we may write up just needs to be tweaked a little bit. So uh, honestly, it's not like I've actually played this to get it all going. I'm just getting rough stats, things that I think should fit, and sometimes we always have to kind of fine tune things as we play. That's why we have different editions in games. So, with that being what it is, thank you so very much for stopping by. It's always wonderful having you around. I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.